I surrendered, like for real. And then in that surrendering, I saw so many things. Like I really got and know now that I've already talked about the divine plan all my life, but the divine plan unfolding, this is part of the plan that I'm a part of. And part of that, it does mean surrendering to what is. And then I got it. I saw it. I felt it. I knew it. It became visceral within. And what's happened now is like, San, it's like, I'm not trying to do anything. I swear to you. You know what I'm saying? Now, okay, I'm going to make this out. I'm going to do that. No, it's just let it present. Because there's nothing more to do. It's just divinely guided. Wherever I'm meant to be, it's going to happen. There's no wrong choices, no good, bad, right, wrong choices. Whatever choice you make, that is already the word that's been spoken. Don't have to worry about it, okay? So, everything shifted and changed, you know?
Welcome to the Consciousness of the Way. I am your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master San Qing, and it's another amazing day in paradise down here in planet Earth. I just want to welcome to the podcast Bonnie Serratore. Is that correct? Yes, I got it right.
Right. That was good.
Magical mystery consciousness and above doing humanistic things that transmute into miracles.
Yeah.
And I just want to welcome you to the podcast, my dear friend. I appreciate you coming out today.
Yeah, thank you. It'd be fun to be here.
Yeah. I'm always welcoming conversation that can raise someone else's awareness to who they really are and return back to what I like to call the mother, which is the Tao. So, that can come in all forms: Buddha, Jesus, God, universe, the Wizard of Oz. I don't know, whatever you want.
Yeah, all of it. It's all good.
All of it. So why don't we share a little bit with the audience, a little bit about you leading up to this very moment?
Okay. Leading up to this moment, how far back do you want me to go? In the beginning.
Yes, in the beginning. That's right.
In the beginning, I was born into an unconscious family, like most people. But I've always felt energy, and I really got involved doing the work that I do and doing stuff professionally in 1986. But prior to that, I did tarot stuff and psychic readings and that type of thing. And actually what happened for me is I began my own journey of clearing, unraveling, healing, that kind of, having a life of a lot of, severe abuse and severe things that very severe traumas, of course. So what I do, I go looking for the way to heal it. And I found my way. And I've been doing this work. I've had a healing center. It was called the Renaissance Center for 13 years. I closed that down. I went into the desert for 4 years. My work changed drastically. That's when I began to discover all the interferences that affect everybody, things that, that we would never understand, never think of, and believe even. So by, working at those levels, we can change people's lives. It's like, you got a wounding, you got a belief system, you got angst, you feel inhibited, blocked, whatever. It's like we can clean that stuff up. So for me, it's just that place of the desire to be free. Actually, wait, I want to back up. So 1984, I had an experience of what I would call enlightenment, okay? After I had that experience, I began seeking enlightenment and soon discovered, well, that's not really what's going to happen. So what I discovered was by unraveling and clearing deep emotional energies that were in the body, my energy changed, my life changed, my thoughts, my feelings, my beliefs, everything changed. So through my own self, through my own healing, I began to discover how to help others. And so that's, so then my life became devoted to helping others. And then, of course, along the way, I've evolved tremendously, like we all do, And in that evolving, it's like now I bring a healing modality to the planet that's one of the most powerful healing modalities in the world, which is really cool. So right now I have a business. It's called Spiritual Acceleration, and it's really about evolving spiritually. So what we're doing is by healing the energy frequencies of the physical form and releasing and freeing up the soul levels, then we evolve much more quickly. And we can stop some of the cycles of coming into future incarnational experiences. So, I can clear just about anything that exists in this dimension, actually in other dimensions as well. So it's just, it's just playing in this dimension, playing on planet Earth, and yet affecting, energies, frequencies, and all time space. So, yeah, it's an adventure, and there's always something new. Like, I have to say something right now. I'm in New Mexico, and I'm going to be clearing out a frequency, and I'm finding like major, major, major dark stuff, and found White Walkers in there, and it's like, so Sunday I'll be doing a major thing, and what's happening? I've already called in different beings to help and assist in this. And just a few minutes ago, this Indian Native American warrior showed up on a painted horse, and it's like they're coming, because we got some gnarly stuff here to deal with, like serious. So we're playing with that on Sunday, so that should be really fun.
Amen to that. That's what I'm talking about. No, really, that excites me. I've had a background in this space for just over 30 years, and one of the things that was a sort of a specialty, a ritual within one of the lineages I'm ordained in, is exorcisms. So this type of stuff is, realizing, identifying the spirit world, and really being able to negotiate and to eradicate, eliminate, illuminate is very exciting, very, very exciting. And it's never a dull moment. So
never a dull moment. It's true. I mean, my world is mostly on the astral planes and other time and space. And the other day I went to the property where this is at, and as soon as I started walking towards the buildings that I'll be working, clearing out the energies, it's like the body started getting like little uncomfortable, a little scared. It was the body that got scared, not me. But it's like, whoa, we're dealing with some stuff. So I looked at it, and then last night I had to put net over it to keep these things, because once they felt me, look out. You know what I'm saying? You open up, then things start to open. So I had to close everything off, and then today I just been tracking stuff and calling in stuff, and it's like all these beings are present like crazy. I like showing up. I think of some of the Native Americans that lived on these lands before. I think they dealt with some of these negative energies, so they're coming. It's amazing.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is. I don't know which part of the desert I'm at, Las Vegas, Nevada. So
I lived there. I lived in Vegas for 4 years.
Yeah.
I lived on the Strip for 8 months on the Strip in Beer Towers. Yeah,
a very, very crazy place. I'm technically just about outside of the city. I don't think I could do the Strip. You're on a whole nother level. But
yeah.
It is. I go around the hotels and I call out the spirit entities and the traps and the configurations of the geometry and how the architecture is laid out too, because there's a lot of manipulators there that are creating sort of like fail to lose scenarios right from the get-go as you enter into whatever space you're in. So the person who's created that is already setting you up to lose. So there's a certain order when you enter these properties. I like to associate with the entities that are going to raise your odds and a probability of a win as opposed to a lose, which is part of the geometry and how people lay out. Within my world, we call it feng shui, and how you kind of lay that out to deter or to amplify a result.
Yeah,
and so,
I actually cleared one of the casinos, not in Vegas. I have friends, clients that own a couple casinos, and one of them's out by I think it's a Mesquite. So I went out there and cleared that casino. But clearing land, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Luxor was a treasure trove because that was an intersection, right? So we have all these it was an ancient burial ground from some Indian tribe that was, a long time ago. And then you have the problematic effects of what was quite clear were people that were buried there in the last 50 years that was a little problematic.
Yeah.
So you have that energy. Then they shipped in imports from the Egyptian entities that were present. So you look at gangs hanging out there, and it was an interesting energy. Quite a few sort of palpable, spots. Hot, well, I call them hot spots. I give people the top 3 hot spots to go and visit if you're on vacation. Go to Luxor, check it out, or whatever hotel it is that I do a reading on, and then they can check out the hot spot. They can go and pay homage to an entity, have a conversation, whatever, feel the energy. And, it's Las Vegas, baby. It's exciting.
Yeah. Being there was different. Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah. So you moved from that. Where did you end up settling? You still in the desert or no?
No, so I left Vegas in 2014. Then I went to Colorado.
Okay.
And then I went from Colorado to Georgia. So I live in Georgia now.
Woo.
And then now I'm visiting in New Mexico. I mean, I've been to Santa Fe before, done different things, but right now I'm here. And I think my sense is that partly I've been called here is because I got to help this. There's a friend of mine he's got buildings. It's in his life, everything's just messed up, like it's always intense, horrible, things never work. And it's just very bad. And so it's like, whoa, so I'll help shift and transform that energy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like real life Ghostbusters up in here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we're talking some gnarly stuff in there, gnarly stuff.
Yeah.
That don't belong in our dimension. You know what I'm saying? Things that have come from other time, space, dimensions, galaxies, universes, and they don't belong here. And it's just like not good. So.
Yeah. I mean, I've only ever come across one entity that I had to negotiate for about 3 hours with. But other than that, they leave pretty lickety split up in here. They're not hanging. If you get the right keys to the city, I'm more a negotiator. You sound like you're an eliminator. I kind of negotiate.
I always give them a choice. I swear.
Yeah. Okay? Of course you do. Yes, yeah. You're. I'm giving you an option. It's leave or leave. I don't know. Let's see what's going on here.
You're out of here. Got it? Yeah, one way or another, you're out of here.
Yeah. It's it can be really a deep dive into many different things when people become the barometer and tuning fork for this stuff. So you come into spaces that are occupied by these entities, but if you allow yourself to be the transfer of space, that could be problematic. So it's not only an environmental thing, but you're welcoming it into your very field. And some people don't have that crash course yet. If they're coming to see you or me, they're just not aware of it. But it only once was there a space where I felt it was almost necessary to bulldoze the property because of its imprinted energy. But it's not really something that has to be that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I've cleared other stuff. Like there was a place, it's called Sierra Hot Springs in California. A lot of people were trying to clear it, whatever. It had a lot of really negative energies. What had to happen once I went there and started working on it. What happened is like couple hundred years earlier, there was some kind of white man came into the tribe land. There was tribal land, wiped out their clan, the warrior, what do you call them? Not warriors, but the hunters came back. And, there's one warrior or hunter, he was like enraged. So he cursed everything and he opened up a portal and all this black energy was coming up. So when I went there and looked, connected with him, I showed him what was happening. I showed him what he opened up, and he felt he didn't really want to do that. Okay. So we closed it up and shifted the energy. And now that place is like a hopping awesome place. Now this was many, many years ago that I did this. It was just before it started turning into a really great place. Prior to that, it was like that. It was not good. The energy was bad. It was uncomfortable for people. And then once that got cleaned up, it was like really an awesome place. So yeah, it's like, closing portals, opening, whatever, it's just energy, and
energy has a rippling effect in this 3D reality.
Very much so.
You
Yes.
know, I mean, when you look at some of the, like that particular Luxor in the front of the hotel, across the threshold was a slip and fall, like basically like a booby trap, and the two were like basically guarding that space, were just there to amplify constant slip and falls and incidents and accidents, and it was just like a fun and games scenario. And it's understandable. It's so stagnant. That particular space was so stagnant with this low frequency, and then there was actually 2 or 3 vortices that were just letting entities pop in and out from different realms.
Right.
And it's one of those ongoing things where you want to find the highest point. I teach people like body dowsing, which is a way to attune yourself to the environment, find the ley lines, find the power centers, find the vortices that are a high frequency, low. And I mean, this is ancient stuff, ladies and gentlemen. This is stuff they used to do. Now they just drop like places of worship anywhere. They're not thinking about the highest point of ascension, the highest frequency here. Have you noticed that? It's like a lost sort of art form that people just don't care anymore. They just put a church anywhere or a temple anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I think people just don't have, it's just kind of strange then. It's like people, the sensitivity, I mean, some people are, become more sensitive, and other people seem to be becoming more decent,
Desensitized.
That. So, and then there's just like a polarity, a movement happening, it's shifting things. And it's going to be intense. We got a couple intense years coming. So, yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? What are your guides, your teachers? Tell me more about that. Is it a dialogue or a monologue for you?
What do you mean?
Well, so for example, for me, I have a dialogue with my teachers. I have my teachers, Latsu and the 3 pure ones. There's specific spirits I work with, immortals, on a second by second basis. I access them and see them just like I see you, hear their voices, all the rest of it. And then there's a point where there's the monologue, which is the now, the mother, right now. So we're getting a whole different aspect of basically energy, which is an altering effect within a 3D reality, because I'm returning perfection back to an altered, distorted state. So that's what I mean by a monologue to dialogue. What about yourself?
Yeah, no, I don't actually use guides. I don't use anything. I go direct. I go direct into the light itself. I go direct into consciousness, creative consciousness, and that's how this is how I began to do what I do. I didn't study with teachers alive or dead, and because I could feel, my body could feel when something was off. Doesn't matter where I go. I go into a building, go into a church, my body's like, oh, something's wrong here, or going around being with somebody who, there's people that, I'm sure everyone's got something to offer, but for me personally, I felt within my own self, and it was easier to just go direct, and so it would happen, Stan, like, for example, way back when I had the Renaissance Center, and I first started doing these workshops called Cutting to the Core. So before I would do those, but I started getting this, like I would be working with a group of people and I get this knowing, this drop-in knowing that would say, do this, like roll them up. I'm like, okay. So I'd roll them up and do whatever I did, So I remember one time I was in a workshop in Alaska and I got that knowing that said, grab his, Honas. And I'm like, And they go, grab. And I'm like, grab. So my business partner, I said, Molly, grab, do that. She's like, what? I go, just do it. The most amazing thing happened. The guy dropped to the ground and his body everything started letting go. He actually went to the bathroom and everything let go because it was a topic that was happening. There was we were working with a particular topic, but it shifted him so much that, so a couple months later when I was coming back, he came to pick me up at the airport and I didn't even recognize him. Okay. So I go direct, you know what I'm saying? And even the other day, was it yesterday? It was yesterday. I was over at that scan, just checking the area out where I'm going to be working. I'm not asking anybody, but I'm the, I'm directing it, and I'm the one calling in. Like there's beings, there's these beings that are on the astral planes that when you call them in, they help work with demonic energies or clear demonic stuff or really black evil stuff, that kind of stuff. And then you have, there's many, 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 many beings that are on the astral planes, and so basically I call them in. They come. So yeah, it's more like I'm kind of like calling it in, but like I said, it's like the knowing. So I'm not having like conversations with any beings dead or alive, but I go direct. So anytime I'm working with somebody, I'm tracking the energy, getting a sense of it. If I can't find something, then I'll go to the person's highest level, super consciousness levels, get into that, show me where it's at. That's how I work.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds similar to what I'm talking about in many senses. Like when I work with my teachers, it's like you would call it that. Normally within Taoism, there's this thing called deity magic, and I'm not a fan of that. I build a relationship with the spirit world. I don't necessarily like command them. It doesn't work out well. I've never found it to be. I found it to be problematic. So if you create a relationship, it doesn't turn into they're turning on me. And it happened once, a specific thunder god, Li Gong, initially when he was told to mentor me from Jade Emperor, one of my other teachers, who's a highest point of ascension, which would be one of the facets of the creation of the cosmos. And then higher than that is the mother, which is the Tao. So all of these guys are facets of the same diamond of perfection. It's just access. It's like my version of Akashic Records, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it. But in essence, it's still an access. But, when I was bringing in Li Gong, it was problematic. And, he juiced me badly. Like I thought I was going to die. The amount of juice that ran through me. And then the Jade Emperor was like, I don't think you understand. You do what I tell you to, and you're going to work with it. Create a relationship. But now to this day, I mean, Li Gong is a fantastic advocate for working with me and helping prevail in relation to, because he's like the punisher of all evil doing. So when people are casting black magic and stuff of that nature, he salivates wanting to eviscerate them due to their nature and their habits. And I mean, he works with his teacher, which is Supreme Thunder God. So we kind of get these different facets, and they're all powerful in their own way. And I imagine that's a very similar situation with you. And it's like, there's not playing, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. It's their world, and we're living in it. We better get used to understanding how this works, because it's real. Very,
it's very real. Yes. Yeah. So for me, partly what happened for me was, this is back in when I lived in Auburn, and I had everyone I knew was a client. So I don't hang out with my clients. So I would spend my time traversing into different time space dimensions. I needed to know, can this stuff hurt me? Can these beings hurt me? Okay. So I would go into really dark places, really evil places, really demonic places, the layers of Satan and all these kinds of things. And yeah, they can hurt the body, but once I knew that they can't hurt who I am, game over. It's like, can't touch me. You become untouchable. When you know who you really are. So yeah. So now, even when I go into this other thing, I'm beholding light. Because I already know nothing is greater than the light. Light will prevail no matter what. So we'll be doing some major stuff, but holding that light is key. So again, there's nothing greater than the light. So that's what I use. That's what I
yeah. I mean, it is that moment. It's like we have this saying in Taoism: when you accept you are not of this body, what can harm you?
Yeah, it's true. It's really true, isn't it? Really. Yeah.
But it's like what we're speaking of for the audience is a knowing. If you are in any monacute amount of doubt. Don't try this at home, ladies and gentlemen, because you will not be happy with the outcome.
Right. Yeah.
That fearlessness is the only way you can bring it. If you go in with any self-doubt, anything,
Yep. Fear, doubt, game over. You're vulnerable. Yeah.
And then they have at the physical flesh, you see, and that's the part that is the problem. When you know you're bulletproof, when you know what you know, then you're bulletproof. That's a knowing. But if you come in with just a little inkling of a doubt somewhere, they'll have at the flesh, and you will see a representation of that. This is a side effect of what I find with a lot of healers, light workers, energy people. They come in and they separate, and they want the identity of the Messiah, the healer, the whatever, and that's a problem because they're using their own life force. They're not tapped into source. And when you're not tapped into source, you're always going to come out, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, oh man, and you'll come up with random, rare, exotic diseases that will manifest in your physical body, and you go, what the heck? Where did this come from?
Right.
In most cases, they crash and burn. I mean, I've been doing this 30 years. I see people transition and pass through this reality, hundreds, probably thousands, if I had to really start counting. Energy healers, light workers, this is the problem. They fall subject to their duality, which does not exist in that when you're bringing it. When you're having that monologue that I speak of, there's no duality.
Right.
It's down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know unequivocally there's nothing in me that doubts the light. Nothing. I know it. So there's no fear. No, it's like, nothing that becomes unstoppable, so to speak,
Yeah. I mean, I would say that I find this, and you can share what you think, but because you bring a high resonance, it's so high, it's not of this world, because this world is distorted by a construct of the humanistic sort of perception. It's a distorted frequency. It's not perfection. So when you bring perfection in, that resonance will result in the subject of someone's perception being duality, because that's where they're coming from initially. So they either gravitate to you or they're repelled from you.
Yeah, exactly.
The dualistic sort of nature. Have you noticed that yourself?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It just happens. It's like people love you or hate you, and come on, haters, come on, get some if you want to hate on me. But that's the truth. That knowing, people perceive it as their deficiency. So all of a sudden, you have to fall into the little box of what they call, you have no humility. Don't you need to be humble? That's got nothing to do with this, my friend. You commanding me to be humble is showing me and revealing to me your very deficiencies, that your need to control someone, and identify that humility is necessary. And knowing has nothing to do with any of that.
Right. That's true. Yeah. It's a trip. People are a trip, aren't they? I mean, a lot of ego stuff, false self, and people want to, I just remember that was one of the things too. You'd be around people that were being teachers and that type of thing, and you feel the ego, and it's like, I spent a lot of years dissolving the ego because I don't really want to have that. It's like, it's not the truth. So,
well, you're not going to come with what you come with an ego. It's just not going to happen. You got, the old expression: the bigger they are, the harder they fall. That's what happens.
Yeah, that one.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the bigger the ego, the harder you're going to fall.
It's true, isn't it? It's so true. Yeah.
And people perceive it that way, but their deficiencies determine that their lens is that what we're doing is we're arrogant, we're too sure of yourself. Yeah, you have to be. If there's any doubt, that's a problem. There's no room for it. And so they'll perceive it as a deficiency instead of recognizing what fearlessness really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting. So you had your healing center, and now you're sort of doing just sort of what would you call it? Are you the nomad of the MC that just sort of travels around doing whatever they want, or what's going? You know what I mean? Like what's going on? So you had your healing center, you closed that down. So are
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
working with people individually, or you're
No.
training
Yes.
people? What's going on?
I've created something new and different. So in 2015, when I came out of the desert, and then I went into, that's when I went to Nevada when I came out of the desert, and then I went to Colorado. But in Colorado, I started creating a new and different uh, center. I mean, no, it's no longer has a location because everything's online, and we go global, of course, like you and so people come online. And what we do is I used to do things in person, and now everything's online. So I teach the work. I teach what I've created. We have what's called the foundation. So I have a bunch of accelerators who are practitioners in healing, doing healing work. We do lots of different teachings. Like I have a Know Thyself program, which is teaching people higher level consciousness, and learn teaching you create your reality 100% and so much more. But it goes really deep. So it's really a place where people can get healing. I have probably all 300 videos of healings. I remember back in 2010, when I first started doing these, I was asking this again, going direct. I'm asking because I want to know, how do I reach more people? How can I affect change rather than this one person at a time thing or these intense workshops? How do I help more people effectively? And I got the knowing, do the clearing, but have people call your awareness, call your soul levels in, so that when I'm working, standing beside each person, everyone's getting the benefit of the clearing. So we have all these recorded clearings, and we have people buying all of those. So we just have teachings, and that we have master classes and lots of different things to help people wherever they're starting, wherever their level is of awareness or what they're seeking. There's something that can be there for them. I have a prayer wall. People can post their prayers on the wall. I go in, I'll read the prayers. I mean, I'm not going to go directly and go try to heal, but what I do is I read the prayer, and then I send my own higher levels, my own energy consciousness to go and to help affect change for whatever they're asking. So we have those kinds of things. That's free. It's just we do all kinds of stuff on consciousness, spirituality, healing. It's mostly about healing, though, and it's mostly about healing the emotional body, which is really the angst of everything. You know what I mean? It's like everything is attached, the emotions. So even when I do clearings, like even past life stuff, people have carryover. So what I've discovered, San, is what's happening is in a past life, they have an intense experience or some kind of emotional experience that they don't unravel, that they don't know. So part of what's happening is the soul, in order for it to evolve and really evolve, it's like it needs to know itself in different ways. How it does that is through the physical form. Well, if you're not going through your emotions, or if you're crying and you're telling a story, you're not really clearing and healing the emotion, because you have to know it. So teaching people, so I discovered, past life. Oh yeah, so you had some kind of experience back then. You drew a conclusion. You began to believe all these things. You didn't go through the emotion of it. Now it gets carried into the soul imprint, come back into a body. Now it's still in there. And then now what's happening, you're sending the frequency to send this kind of energy to you. And then what you're doing though is thinking, oh, I must be being punished. Okay, something's wrong, poor me, or whatever, rather than the recognition that, wait a second, I didn't heal in the past. Here it is again. I have the opportunity again here and now. I can do it. Oh, but wait, I don't know how to do it because I can't surrender to my emotions. Oh, okay. It's like it just, and we just go on and on and on and on and on. The same old, same old, same old, same old, same old. Enough already. Okay, let's be done. So that's where I'm coming in. It's like, we're done here. Let's move this stuff out, clean it up, heal the past, unravel the emotions, clean them out. That's another thing that happened for me in the desert. See, at the Renaissance Center, we used to have, we roll people up. It was big emotion, okay, big stuff. And then once I was in the desert and started getting all this information, seeing stuff differently, now I can spin out most of the emotional energy frequency. Like people has like a broken heart. Like even today, I was filming from the foundations, woman lost her mom, and she could hardly talk, telling. So I just started working with the mom and her, took the mother out, took her out of the mother, and then started releasing all the emotional frequencies that were there, and then all the discarnates, all the dead people. Okay, it's going to have dead people inside of you, guaranteed. Every issue you got dead people. So start clearing out all those people, and when we were done, it's like, of course she's going to, feel some sadness, but the sadness, the crying was gone, it was over. Okay. So, and it's just because we're just moving the energies. We're just shifting and changing what isn't the absolute, what isn't the person. And then you come out completely different and healed, free, liberated. Okay. So again, it's just like learning how to move the energy and the emotional energy. Like I said, we used to go through all kinds of stuff, roll them up in the blanket, lay people on them, it's like get them into feeling places and they'd have major breakthroughs. We don't have to do that anymore. Like I spin that energy clear, it's gone. Just like that.
Amen to that. That's what I'm talking about. No, serious. I mean, I can't stress enough for the audience to understand the magnitude of what Bonnie's talking about right now. And that's a mastery. It's something that she's acquired perhaps over many lifetimes and has mastered that and brought it present into this moment. And, I'm an advocate of that framework of understanding. And I teach people how emotions don't control you. You control your emotions.
Yeah.
And people
I just like to clear them.
Yeah. I can see the clearing. I think it's amazing. It's kind of more like there's still a subject of their personality. So I'll go in the direction of having an identity, realizing that is your personality. Hey, look, I may be a priest and I can bring it, but I also like Netflix, chocolate bonbons, and riding my side by side in the desert at 100 miles an hour. Okay? So that when you can really be the first person, third person, no person, which is what you bring so eloquently, so poetic, so seamless, silky smooth, but so powerful. This is something that many people are looking and seeking to acquire that mastery. And it's sort of like something that you need to find someone that can actually share that with you as a way to develop your own knowing. And
or like me, you spend your life devoted to healing your own self as well as others, and then you expand and grow through all that journey and all the different things that I've done to wake up, so to speak. And I think it's like sometimes think, oh, if I knew what it was going to take to get where I am now, I wouldn't have done it. You know what I mean? It's like, good thing we don't know what we're up against, and then we can right.
I agree. I remember many years ago, 30 actually, and I had my equivalent to every thought, feeling, and emotion at once for a week. And honestly, I wanted to just go. I was like halfway through. I honestly wanted to kill myself.
Yeah.
At a point where I thought I'd distract myself, go to the movies, whatever. I'd be in the movies, and something that would be nothing but a passing sort of Hollywood transient moment. This woman comes out naked, and I literally puke on the ground. I'm like, what is going on here? This visceral response that's taking place that would never have affected me before, but it's so deep.
Yeah.
And this healing is so deep, and once it's out, it's out. It's never
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just went through 15 months of serious pointlessness and meaningless of life. Okay, for real. I thought many times, I'm done. I'm just gonna, have a pool. I'm just gonna have accidental drowning or something. Okay, but 15 months of sitting in that energy, and then going even deeper into just the whole frequency of the meaninglessness. And it's like everything was like, what? Why? What is the friggin' point here? Man, I am done. But coming through the other side of it, everything still is meaningless and pointless. Okay, that has not changed, just to be clear. But what's happened is now it's like I don't care anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm just going to do what I want to do. I'm going to be who I am. I'm not going to hide what I do. You know, I'm not going to pretend like I don't do what I do. I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to laugh. And I've been laughing every day. Great laughter, deep laughter, having fun, and just being alive in the world because there's nothing else to do. Okay?
Well, you're in good company. It takes one to know one. Put it that way. It takes one to know one. And, you know, I've never split hairs in 30 years. People would ask me, you know, back in the day when I first started this, oh, what do you do? I'm a priest. I do exorcisms, healings, clearings.
Yeah.
People are like, what? And, you know, I mean, back in those days, I'd have someone turn up on my doorstep that was diagnosed with some psychotic episode, and it's exorcism time.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I remember distinctly my mother was in a channeling class I was doing probably 20 years ago. And she was just kind of like, oh, I'll come and do one of those channeling workshops with you, son. Well, she's in there. I've got about 30 students. One takes notes and asks questions. The other one channels the energy. And this one girl was looking problematic. Every time she would come to class, she'd bring 170 clingers. Like, she was fantasizing the idea of being the big badass exorcist. And with that brings all this garbage, all this rubbish, all these clingers. And so every time she would come to class, I'd be doing like a fire sale on exercising these entities from them. And so she was sitting there, and her partner was asking questions, and I was watching the other entity come out of her, and then you could see it popping in and out, shape shifting. And I was like, wait a second, right? You step over. I want to ask some questions, and it went south from there real fast. From this angelic-like energy, which was just a front to this really deep, dark, demonic energy. Yeah. And this woman's head flipped back. She spun around 3 times and threw herself across the room. And my mother went, "What the? This is real!" Right? Everyone went white. Everyone freaked out. And I said, "What do you think I'm doing here? What do you think I've been doing for 10 years?" Yeah. But, you know, and I don't pull any punches. It's like, this is the reality, ladies and gentlemen. And a lot of people, you know, and just from what you're sharing, you know, you got bestie right here. You got family right here. If you ever want to share more, because it's like finding an environment where someone from this plane has an iota of an idea of what's really going on. And it's normally the ones that are disturbed. They're the ones that will come and find the help that they need through us, through you, through me. But the rest of the world is blind and distorted and living in this fantasy that they think this shit doesn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, I had to go through this last year. I went through stuff like, there's nobody in the friggin' world who can meet me in what I know. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? You know that, right? Yeah. So I had to go through the angst of it, meaning like poor me, so to speak. But once I came through it, it's like, alrighty then, it just is, you know? So it's accepting what is. But I did have some, like, you know, like feeling lonely or alone or whatever. And like, wow, never have anybody that can really understand or get, or at least be able to talk real stuff. You know?
Be careful what you wish for, and then sun pops up out of nowhere. Boom! Hey.
Hey, if I had, you know, I would love to have, like, you know, be talking real stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, and that's the thing. It's like people just don't get it. They want the. Oh, hang on, I don't know what that is. Hang on, is that me? I guess it is. That is okay. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, people do. They're. It's cool and creams and peaches until otherwise noted, and when the real shit hits the fan, all of a sudden they come looking, and that happens to most people. But you know, the typical traits of that is oppression, depression, possession. You know, it goes in that order, and it shows itself. And you know, I want the audience to understand what Bonnie's sort of like sharing. It's a very intimate sort of like raw moment that you're sharing this stuff, but like you got your ass beaten for a while there with this stuff because it's so strong, it's so dense, and it would tear anyone else up. They'd just give up. They'd just like surrender. They'd surrender to the end.
Big surrender, man. Big
Right?
surrender, okay? Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you're out there. You're on the East Coast again. You're in Georgia. What drove you there? Is it a flavor? What's out there? I mean, there's a lot of juice.
Okay, so what happened was see, San, I see the orchestration of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like years before, I can see how everything lines up, all that. So my dog died. Okay, and I had a knowing that just dropped in. It said drive. I'm like, okay. So I start driving. I drove for 3 weeks. Came home, knew I didn't want to live in Colorado anymore, so I took off again. Thought I was going to move to Kentucky. I have friends in Tennessee. I didn't want to move because I'd moved a lot. I didn't want to move where I didn't know anybody again. I wanted to have at least somebody, a friend. Okay. So I ended up I stayed in Tennessee while I started looking for a place because I wanted to be around these friends. I was going to go to Asheville because I have several friends up there, high level friends that have, that are very conscious and some well-known people. But I ended up going, and I liked Georgia better than Tennessee. So I stayed in Georgia for about 3 months, found my house, and I bought that house. Of course, I was meant to buy that house. And then major shifts started happening, Sam. Like, I'm serious. It's like, I know this is kind of personal, but I spent like in the last 22 years pretty much not hanging out with anybody, did a lot of alone stuff, no romance in my life kind of deal. And I actually felt like I'm done. I don't need no partner. I don't need no man. I'm done. And I really believed it, for real. And then when I went to Georgia, I met someone. It wasn't to be a partner, but what it did, it woke me up to, oh, wait a second. I guess I'm not done. Okay. So ever since then, now all hell has broken loose, and every issue, if I didn't unravel or hasn't been healed, has been brought right into my face. So it's been a major transformation for me these last 2.5 years. Major. But that's why my dog had to die. And I'm driving. I'm on my way to California. I'm talking to my own higher levels and saying, you didn't have to suck her. You didn't have to kill my dog. Okay. And they said, oh, yeah, we did. It's like, all right. And I knew it. But so it's like, I just go where I'm guided. I have the knowing and I just do it. And I know that something's going to happen. Like I'm in New Mexico. I had no clue what was going to happen here. I had no clue I'd be dealing with this, but this is I already know this has to be. I'm meant to help clear this energy, shift the energy here, bring, just shift it, change it, clear it. So
maybe you need to move back to Vegas.
I've been, no, I'm not going to, I've been back, but I'm not going to move back, Usually what happens for me, been there and I move on. I never look back, you know what I mean? It's like I keep going wherever. Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, it's, I love taking people out to the natural form pyramids out here. There's so much juice. It's crazy. It's crazy. And, you get outside of Vegas, 20, 30, 40 miles out, it's a whole nother ball game. It's a way different landscape, and the energies are so powerful,
Yeah. I mean, there's power. I mean, Vegas is powerful, as you know, you're there.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of entities that prey on the weak.
Yeah.
I mean, what this town is built on is the weak, and they feed off that.
Yep.
That vulnerability, that weakness, that not knowing, but it's not a surrendering of a high ascension. It's a surrendering to the weakness of humanness.
Yeah.
That then becomes, trailed with, people, making decisions they can't come back from. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. And then you got people doing the drugs and the alcohol and doing all the, everyone's still looking to be happy, on some level. And you have all these people doing these things, they become vulnerable to even more dangerous stuff, more damage coming in. They don't realize what they're opening themselves up to, that they're having a great time temporarily. And then, sometimes people have a worse life than before. And as you know, people, gamble away their life, their family, everything gone.
Yeah, I mean, there is so much of that life-taking, self-life-taking. I'll just put it at that, so we don't get
Mhm.
into it. But you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like it becomes this seed, and you start getting that information echoing. That's where you think those thoughts are yours. They're not at all. They're never.
Yes. Oh my word. Yes. Right there. This is a trip. So even like I'm coming back to today because I'm teaching, I'm doing a teaching about discarnates, about how to take them out and all that kind of stuff. And demonstrating people their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, their beliefs, and they're right there on the screen telling it, then clear, I'm releasing all these things as I'm demonstrating, then they can't find it, it's gone. Those thoughts aren't there, the emotions not there, the beliefs are not there, and it's like shocking.
Well, not really. I wouldn't expect anything less from you, but yeah, I mean, it's riveting and groundbreaking for someone to experience what you share with them.
Mhm.
And that moment, that now moment, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is New Mexico calling you? Are you going to move from Georgia now to New Mexico or what?
No, I won't be moving here. No. I actually wanted to force quit doing this, crack myself up. So I kind of, because I thought I could, you know what I'm saying? But if there's something that's going to be, you're not going to change it. So when I was in California, what happened was my brother was ill and then he died. And then my sister and myself were dealing with stuff. And I told her I'm going to force quit Georgia because I don't want to be there anymore. I'm done. And so I go home. So it's a crack up. So I get home. I have this pool. It's a beautiful pool, but there was a leak started, and I thought, well, we'll just patch that leak, and then sell the house. No, a storm came. It dropped 1.5 feet. I'm like, there's no way. I got to do the pool. So then I have to do the friggin' pool, and then my friend, who I came to, and who lives in Tennessee, called me. This was like 4 days later. As I get back, and she's like, she left her husband, and I felt like I needed to reciprocate because I got to stay with them when I was here. I thought, okay, well, she can come hang out with me. Well, she came with her cats, 3 cats, indoor cats. You guys, I live in kind of like a Zen kind of place. You know what I'm saying? Everything's neat and clean and tidy. Well, all of a sudden, everything, there's blankets, different colors of blankets all over my couches, and every room of the house was taken over, and there's cat boxes and cat litters, and I'm knowing I'm not going to get out of Georgia, but what it did though, it really shifted me because I'd go to my room going, what have I done? What have I done? And then I would let myself come in and just feel the angst of everything, whatever that was, go through it. And what happened is by going through those places, because it's still something in the subconscious. So by going through that, it shifted and the surrender to what is, and all this, it's like, it's all good. Okay. There's chaos in my house. Alrighty then, and then my connection with this woman, we got deeper and deeper in our connection and our relationship, which is really cool. So, but it also threw me into like, I know how to surrender, Sam, but sometimes we resist, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want 3 cats. I didn't want any animals. I don't like cat boxes and all that stuff. This is what's up. This is what's up. All right. So I surrendered, like for real. And then in that surrendering, I saw so many things. Like I really got and know now that I've already talked about the divine plan all my life, but the divine plan unfolding, this is part of the plan that I'm a part of. And part of that, it does mean surrendering to what is. And then I got it. I saw it. I felt it. I knew it. It became visceral within. And what's happened now is like, Sam, it's like, I'm not trying to do anything. I swear to you. You know what I'm saying? Now, okay, I'm going to make this out. Or I'm going to do that. No, it's just let it present because there's nothing more to do. It's just divinely guided. Wherever I'm meant to be, it's going to happen. There's no wrong choices, no good, bad, right, wrong choices. Whatever choice you make, that is already the word that's been spoken. Don't have to worry about it, okay? So everything shifted and changed, So I'm still in Georgia. My pool just got fixed. When I go back home, we'll have a nice pool. And who knows what? I don't know. I have no attachment.
Is your friend still living with the cats with you, or?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
So
Whoa.
I got the blankets off. Okay, so I did buy stuff that you put around that that deters them from clawing. So we put this kind of plastic wrap around the furniture. So now my furniture doesn't have to be covered, which is nice. So, but still, it's like that surrender, and yeah, there's cats in my house. They sleep with me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is what's up. All righty then. Because the angst, the resistance to what is causes all the angst. Okay, we know that. And what you resist is just going to cause more suffering. And so just it's a surrender. And I might have, like, I came here with thoughts of what I wanted, what different things not happening. All righty then. Oh, but this is what's happened. Oh, I get it. I meant to clear this stuff. So, it's all a let go.
Yeah, it's all accept. Within Taoism, we call accept and allow everything as is.
Yes, exactly. The business as it is. I mean, this has tripped me out because I teach the know thyself, and one of the topic is the business as it is. Another topic is resistance. So I'm teaching these classes, and I'm thinking to myself, Bon, you're talking to yourself here. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, I went through the whole process of it, and now it's like, yeah, done, game over.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Georgia's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And it kind of keeps you there. How long do you think? What's the message for your stint there? Do you think
I don't know yet. See, usually I'm about either 4 years is my most I've been anywhere. Usually 2 years. So I've been there 2.5. So it'll present. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know, but for now, that's where I'm at, and I stopped resisting, stopped fighting it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you ever think you'll open up another retreat center or no?
No, I do everything online. I mean, I do work. I have done workshops at that house. That's why I bought it. So I did, but I'm also feeling, I don't know, Sam, I'm just kind of done. I just really want to do things like what I'm doing now. Like I want to teach the Know Thyself. I want to teach the foundations. We're recording so people can buy that. I don't have to keep teaching it. And then I just, I do apprenticeship and I got my other accelerators teach different. They teach the intuitive view, awaken the shaman, foundations, and I do the apprenticeship and advanced trainings. But yeah, I'm kind of like I'm kind of like feeling like I want to work less, So I'm actually wanting to stop seeing clients on an individual basis, and then because I still do group clearings, people can still get clearings, but I want to teach the higher level stuff. So that's really where I want to go now.
Love it, love it, love it. I mean, it's always so powerful having such an effortless conversation like the one we've had today. It's like just now.
So it's really, I can, like, what's happening right now is like it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but I'll just try. It's like as you're speaking and we're connecting, we've not met in this body before, you know what I'm saying? But there's a knowing, like as I'm there's a recognition happening inside of me, and I'm just feeling all this love, you know what I mean? Like that unconditional love, and like like another being that can meet me, that we can meet each other in a way that that you're not going to get, and understanding. But there's just such a profound, I see your light and I feel you, and it's like, whoa, recognition. And now I'm starting to get senses and feelings. Oh yeah, knowing you another time, it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got that immediately. It's just a knowing. It's like
yeah,
the old reunited, and it feels so good because it really, it's like it's a knowing what we're talking to the audience about, and it's not, you don't miss a second, you don't miss a breath or a beat. It's instant, and it becomes more embodied, and the more you resonate, the more it expands. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're experiencing right now. It's like really, really powerful. And it's like remembering the bond, remembering past lives, remembering the now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a trip because it's almost like really a trip because there's something presenting like we've known each other many ways, but also we know each other in the spirit realms as well, like really know each other. And there's such a light, like there's such a bright light, you know? It's pretty cool.
It's scorching.
Yeah,
That's my eyebrows right now.
yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, it is. This has been a fantastic conversation today, my friend.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's just very cool.
I really want to extend this invitation. We'll talk about it later, but I have a retreat center out here. Maybe you want to come out here and just teach the high ascension stuff that you like doing, and you have a space to do it in. So something to think about.
I love that. Seriously.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we will put that on the calendar. We'll work it out, and more people have to be, remembering after what you do, which is so powerful. So what I want to do is I want to put all your social media, everything under this podcast. I'm going to get people to come and find you, even though you don't. Your one-on-ones are coming to an end. It's like, do we quickly get one in before you close that door, or what?
I'm sorry. Now what? Say that again.
The one-on-ones, you're saying you want to bring those to an end.
The one-on-ones. Yeah. I mean, I'm still doing that. I'm still seeing people. You know what I mean? I still am. But eventually, eventually, that's not what I mean. I mean, yes, of course, it changes people's lives. I get it. Okay, and I don't want to. It's like the 11111. No, let's just keep going bigger. Let's just keep reaching at a higher level because I can. You know what I'm saying? Because I can. So that's what I want to do.
Yeah, no, I can see that, especially doing the stuff out here in my retreat center, because I think that you get the people, and they will come. It's like the old expression: "You build it, and they will come." Of course, they will.
Yeah.
So we'll go over that and get some details, get that set up for you, because I'm always welcoming that, and I'm really grateful for you. And, there are no coincidences.
No. Yeah. I agree. I'm so glad to connect with you. It's like, wow, what a trip. I mean, I'm not joking. It's just this high level energy. Like I can see it. You know what I'm saying? It's just this bright energy.
I can feel it and see it. Yeah. It's really, really powerful stuff. All the students, all the OGs, anyone watching this channel will experience that visceral feeling that we're having right now. And it's the now. It's crazy, but it's crazy good.
It's crazy good. I'm just having so much gratitude and love for you. It's just crazy. Like, wow.
And me for you too. That unconditional love is something that, and that feeling of our hearts right now, that thickness and density of blood flow and energy and everything that comes with it. It's whew.
It's pretty powerful. Such a trip. I'm loving it. Wow. Finally finally connecting, with a soul friend, soul partner. Yeah.
That's right, my friend.
Freaking high level stuff.
I know, it's crazy. I'm like, whole body's shifting right now.
That's what's happening for me. It's like, wow, there's a waking up. It's like, what a trip, It's the very thing I was talking about earlier about being met in awareness, consciousness, it's happening right here.
Yeah. It's like a resonance that you can't, unless you hold it. It's something you can't describe with words.
Right.
Yeah. Well, this has been really amazing, my dear friend. I'm so grateful to reunite with you and refresh our bond and our friendship. And this has been many lifetimes, and it's
yes, high level, like, you know what I mean? Like not it was high level stuff we were doing, or connecting. Yeah, what a trip. Very cool.
Just begun. We have just begun.
Yeah, wow. Wow.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to get everyone to come and see. Now, here's one last question I'm going to have, and everyone has a different one.
Yeah.
What is your definition of consciousness?
Ah. Okay, so for me, pure consciousness is pure awareness. That means there's no interferences, there's no belief systems, there's no me, there's no good, bad, right, wrong. It's that pure state of awareness that's expanded, that we can experience within our own selves, and also in that expanded consciousness. And it is the awareness of all existence, everything that exists in all time, space, dimension, universe, galaxies, lifetimes, realities, black holes, parallels, frequencies, realms, all existence. Consciousness, creator consciousness.
Woo! Wow. Wow. Yeah. And it's really amazing. I never hear the same answer from anybody. It's always something so powerful in this present moment.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank you for sharing your time with me today. I want to thank you for reuniting with me.
Mm-hmm.
That's
what it is. It's a reuniting. That's
yeah.
the truth. Like, seriously. Yeah.
So I want to thank you. I know. I'm so euphoric and buzzing right now. For people that can see this, they're going to be like, he's high. Yeah, I am.
It does. It creates a high. It's like this vibrational frequency. It's so pure. You know what I mean? It's that unconditional love. Pure.
Yeah.
You know, it's absent all misperceptions, absent everything. Pure. It's like high level, high.
Completely.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yeah, that's not even an appropriate word to even describe it. I don't think there are words.
Yeah, I don't think we have words. Yeah, such a trip. What a trip.
Well, I'm happy to be back in the circle, the trance circle, the knowing.
Yeah.
Careful what you wish for. You're like, no, I think I'm just going to do the nomad thing. Oh, look, I found. Yeah, that's what happens. That's how it works.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Truly, wow.
I'm really, really grateful that you've shared your time with us today. And I want to thank you. I want to thank the universe for bringing you back into my life.
Yeah, no kidding, huh? That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah,
I'm feeling like, wow, we've reconnected. Wow, it's like, wow, there's a deep connection here. Yeah, so
very, very deep.
Thank gratitude. Yes,
very, very deep. And I want to thank the audience for sharing their time with us. And I am your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master San Qing, and I'll see you on the next one, guys.